The next topic is going to be an amazing one because it's going to be Joydeep Nandi from Senior Vice President and Head Fund Administration Operations SBISG Global Security Services. Everyone would be talking on masterclass role of fund administrator in setting up and managing an AIF. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi, very good evening to everyone. I am Joydeep, so I head the fund administration division of SBISG. So SBISG is a 15-year-old company and we started operations in 2010. So we completed 12 years of operation. And in terms of the asset under administration that we are servicing, we have surpassed, the magic 150 billion number USD. That's close to, 12.5 lakh crore INR. So yeah, so in terms of the client segments that we cater to, so it includes both foreign and domestic clients, and amongst the domestic clients, AIF happens to be capturing a large pie of our asset servicing share, and within the AIF segment, we are catering to all the three categories, including AIF 1, 2, and 3, and which includes the VC funds, PE funds, the social venture funds, the long short funds, the long only fund, close ended, open ended, and I just will touch upon the details of the fund structure a little in a while. In terms of the services, basically we are into custodial and fund accounting services. With regards to the custodial services, my colleague Devin will take you through very shortly. In terms of the fund accounting services, basically we are doing the fund level accounting, investor level accounting, pricing, valuation of the underlying portfolio, then expense administration, and expense administration, as we all know, in category 1 and category 2, where there are very complex carry structures, performance fee, waterfall mechanism. There the role of fund administration takes very important place in the whole value chain of the AIFs. And in terms of the experience that we have gained over the last 8 to 9 years of servicing the AIFs, we have augmented our systems at a level where most of the most of these expense accruals, performance fee management, or the waterfall distributions happen very kind of very in a very automated environment. And also in terms of certain risk and analytics, we are providing exotic performance reports, particularly for the IF3 segment, and a lot of analytics which also helps the investment manager in terms of benchmarking their portfolio vis-a-vis the underlying benchmark, multiple benchmarks, complex composite benchmarks. So that's how our systems and reporting capabilities are also developed. In terms of the core services that from the fund accounting desk we offer, it's basically the transaction accounting, particularly the inflows, outflows of the investee companies are recorded at certain at the price or at the deals as they occur, and also servicing those investments. If there are any payouts, corporate events, those are also accounted for. And in terms of the investors, at what are the commitment levels, what are the percentage of commitment called, in terms of what are the commitments not fulfilled. So all these reportings are also from from time to time are service to the clients. In terms of generating the distribution reports, in terms of giving the notices to the investors prior a week prior to the call date. So all these activities form part of the core life cycle management of the investors. In terms of the valuation pricing, we partner with a lot of independent fund administrators, or big fours, or independent valuers who do the valuation predominantly for the unlisted investee companies. We also do certain paper trails to ensure that the method of valuation, as it is laid out in the PPM, conforms to the process through which the prices are derived. So that is also part of our core service deliveries. In terms of accounting and managing the cash flow of the fund, so one is the investment, and another part is the cash flow management. So that is also part of core services. When I say part of the core services, so what we expect the investment manager is to focus more on their core area, that is distribution and investment management, rest of the back office is taken care by SBISD or by the fund administrator. So another important aspect is the fund setup. So in the PPM, you set up certain fund structure. It could be in the LLP format, it could be a a partnership, it could be a company form. So we cater to all the fund structure, and basis the PPM, we also engage with the legal advisors of the fund. And in the entire value chain of the AIF, we are the one who connects with the investment manager ab initio from the very beginning, and we stay put till the end of the final distribution, as in when the crystallization happens. So, in terms of, as I said, when we set up the fund, so how the carrying will be, computed. Whenever there is any failed commitment, how do we, match up to the catch-up fees. So all these we advise to the, investment manager, and basis that the accounting happens. And subsequently, when the audit happens, we only justify, what are the reasons for accounting certain, the methodology that we carry through. Of course, reconciliation is a very important aspect. So cash portfolio, both we are doing, reconciliation, and basis the frequency of the NAV, it could be, daily in case of the AIF3, and predominantly, as the regulator suggests, it has to be quarterly at least for the AIF1 and 2. But we prefer to have a monthly valuation of the portfolio books. So along with that, we also summarize the reconciliation if there is any, and along with the aging of those unreconciled items. So for investment reporting, we believe that investment reporting or the portfolio performance reporting is a very key and core deliverable from the fund administrator, because typically the fund for the AIF 1 and 2, that is pretty much straightforward. You know the IRR of the investee company as well as the portfolio, overall portfolio. But in case of the AIF 3, where it is daily mark to market, there are buy sells, long short positions, complex kind of portfolio algorithms. There we add lot of value in giving lot of risk ratios, performance ratios, and now that CRISIL is also coming up with a lot of benchmarking, industry benchmarking reports. There also we partner with CRISIL in sharing different kind of reporting analytics. So this is somewhat a little bit on the deep dive in terms of the fund structure. So as I said, the VCs, Ps, hedge funds, algo funds, then multi-manager. I met somebody who was suggesting that next couple of months they are coming out with a multi-manager fund. So that fund will actually be allocated to different investment managers. So the performance of the investment managers have to be allocated in a certain rationale based on the PPM. So your system needs to be geared up to cater to this kind of complex fund structures and complex investment manager requirements. So there also we are equipped with, and we also servicing this kind of clients already. So valuation and accounting methods, we support the the Indian accounting standard, the INDAS, which is made mandatory for the mutual fund sector for effective 1st of April. But a lot of our funds who are domiciled overseas but investing in India, they prefer to have the IFRS standards. So our systems, our accounting approach is already IFRS compliant. Plus there are certain amendments of the SEBI regulation. In fact, couple of days back only, we are going through the consultation paper that direct plans may be introduced for the AIFs. In fact, exactly 10 years back, 1st of Jan 2013, we have experienced the similar introduction of direct plan in the mutual funds. And trust me, these kind of changes are very complex, because the difference between the direct plan and the normal plan, the expense has to be exactly the difference of the distribution. And still we come across a lot of AIFs who do the accounting in Excel. But as you scale up, this kind of complexities are surely not doable in a Excel kind of or a spreadsheet kind of a format. So there you need to have experienced set of team and also very tech savvy team who can actually accommodate this kind of complex industry level changes. So these are the kind of complexities that we deal with, and as I have already mentioned that when the AIFs are actually coming up, be it a new fund or a existing fund, So the role of fund accountant, assumes significant importance because a lot of these, as I said, complex calculations are barely possible through Excel, and many a times we have onboarded clients when they are in the second year of vintage, where they where we actually onboard, we figure out that the past distributions have not been in the way the PPM suggests. So they had to be called back, or the catch up had to be amended in a different way. So a lot of these audit issues crop up. So which is what the role of the fund accountant is very, very important. And I mean the last slide basically talks of basically the scorecard. When you are trying to figure out a fund administrator, these are the 4 quadrants which you should look into. The left 2 quadrants, actually the left 2 part of the pie are more qualitative, and the right ones are more quantitative and very technical. So I will cut it short. I'll summarize very quickly. So when we say technology, so the level of automation and the scalability of the system needs to be assessed. Like in fact, when we onboard clients, they within a couple of years they come up with their fund 2, fund 3 and stuff like that. And each of these funds have their different complexities, which is kind of not similar to the previous funds. So the system needs to be very much geared up to accommodate this kind of idiosyncratic specifications that which is related to the fund. And in the mutual fund segment or in the PMS segment, there is a saying that from the fund administration point of view, that one size fits all. But when it comes to AIF, it is very, very customized. A similar fund with similar theme, with similar investment objective, operates in different carrying model. So you have to be very customized. So globally, if you see, the LPs basically suggest that you should have a fund administrator who is independent from the fund manager, because through that you can move up the scale very quickly and very fast, and also any regulatory changes can also be managed and kind of accommodated within a very reasonable TAT. So in terms of risk assessment, when you should are choosing a fund administrator, you need to be very careful and methodical in understanding the kind of systems and cyber security resiliency plans, like the BCP, DR. Like for example, SBISG has the BCP in the we operate from Santa Cruz, which is in the western suburbs, and we have our BCP site, which is in Navi Mumbai, and we have deliberately and very consciously kept it at a place which is about 35-40 kilometers away from the main site, and our BCP site and a DR site is in Hyderabad, which is in a different seismic zone. So I mean I will end this presentation with this kind of summary, that selection of a fund administrator should be the last point that you should consider is the pricing or the cost, and the competency of the fund administrators should take the center stage. I mean the whole purpose of putting up this slide is to give you a very easy way to assess the fund administrator, and deliberately the cost part is not considered here. So thank you everyone. Have a very good evening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nandi. It was a wonderful experience and a presentation.